Hi, welcome to SoCode. I just want to talk about why SharepointList is a great guy for Powerapps development. Please stick around. Many will argue that SharepointList is not an ideal database management system for any form of applications and that it's too shallow and stuff like that. And while I share in their sentiments, especially you hear stuff like this from uh, core developers, backend developers, and stuff like that, especially guys who have worked with the likes of SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, and a host of others like that, and they would not accept SharepointList as an ideal database management system. Yes, that's true, but SharepointList is just a great guy for Power Apps. Apart from the fact that they sync so well, there are defined fields, there are like intrinsic fields that come with SharepointList that you do not need to create them, you do not need to feed them with data, but they naturally just do the work for you. And some of these fields is what I'm showing you here. We've got modified by, attachment, created by, and ID. And we've got some others, but I have found these ones so magnificent and I use them all the time in my development. I depend on them a lot in my applications. The modified field automatically takes the timestamp when the record was last modified. Then the modified by captures the user who has modified that application, that record. Then the attachments column keeps your attached file or files. In conventional applications, you would have to write a scriptlet or a function or a procedure that is going to convert your file into binary before sending it into the database. But here you have a column who does that for you without having to write any code, without having to convert any image, any form of file to another form. So if you've used the attachment control from your Power Apps front end, you could attach any type of file, Excel, PDF, and images without doing anything. Then you've got created field, which captures the date, the date and time when this record was created, as well as created by, which captures whoever, the user who has created a record. And then ID is an identity column that is a sequence number that you do not need to define. In other languages, in SQL Server, for instance, you would have to create an identity column. In Oracle, for instance, you would have to create an object index or a sequence, which is going to take care of all this. But in SharepointList, it already has all this for you, and I recommend that in real life applications, these are so cool. These fields are super cool and super useful. They are very good for audit trail. They are very good for analytics purposes and a host of others like that. So I recommend that you put eyes on these fields when you are building your application. And if you've been considering SharepointList or you have not been considering SharepointList, for this fact, I think you should love it more, or you should begin to consider SharepointList as a very good tool for Power Apps. Thank you.